Greetings guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Elio if you don't know it already, and we finally have our new Astromon which is Pip, and we're gonna go ahead and start this video off with the Dark One, boys. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Alright, so the Dark Pip is a balance type, and this one is 4 stars. Quick idea about the way it looks. The first two forms are fine, but I feel like the third form is a bit of a letdown, even though we've seen it before, but we can actually see a 3D model of it. But anyways, Dark Pip is a balance type coming in with 31k HP, 2.6k attack, and then 2.4k-ish defense. Balance type, 4 stars. Stats are fine. They're nothing crazy. It is what it is. So survivability and some DPS out of this unit, maybe not a ton of DPS, but some DPS at the very least. But it comes with Battle Rush 20% and then Sap 80% chance to inflict 3 types of Sap for 1 turn. Overall, as we can see right here, just a self-sustained Sapper, which is perfectly fine. I don't believe we have any of those, but the 1 turn Sap is a bit of a oof. But luckily, due to the recent update of MSL, even though I'm not going to redo all of those videos that I've done, because that's like over 100 videos, we can now check out the skill books of any mons that have skill books available as well. So there's no boost to Battle Rush, but we can see right here that there's a 20% increase activation rate for Sap. So Sap will still only last for 1 turn, but it's going to turn to 100% Sap instead of 80% chance for Sap to be applied. So basically, Sap is going to be applied 3 stacks for 1 turn. Now, I was talking in Discord, especially in like Odin's Son Discord, if you guys haven't checked out his YouTube channel or his Discord yet. This one seems like it's just made for Golems B11. Is it going to outperform someone like Dark Floor or someone of that nature? Possibly not. I mean, 3 stacks is a lot, but the problem is it's only 1 turn, so if it doesn't hit, well, rest in peace to your 5-star skill. It is just completely wasted. And I do believe this is AoE, isn't it? Become startled by sudden appearance of the enemy, attacking them with everything it can summon from its nest. I'm assuming that this one's going to be AoE, but the way the wording is, it sounds like a single target. But I'm just going to assume that it's AoE. But let's go ahead and move on to the light one. Alright, here we have Light Pip, who is an attacker type, coming in with 27k HP, 3.2k attack, and then 2.4k defense. Are you sure that's an attacker type? I mean, the only difference between that is a little bit less HP, but a lot more attack. I mean, other than that, it's almost like copy and paste. But stats on it, stats are fine. Attack is over 3k, and it's a light type, so getting crit rate on this bad boy is easy peasy. And it comes with SP Siphon 20%, which isn't that much, but SP Siphon, it doesn't really need to have a big amount to be impactful. As long as you have SP Siphon, honestly, it doesn't matter how much percentage you can take away unless you're trying to run a completely SP Siphon team. But SP Siphon and then Predator for the 5-star skill, which I'm assuming once again it is an AoE type mon. Nothing too crazy, so this mon can obviously prevent mons from getting their active off, and then we also have Predator. In terms of uses, basically I would say pseudo light nuker, not really, but kinda. I mean, if you need a mon that can take away SP, especially from like Colossus or the new Tower of Chaos, this could be the mon. But my only issue with this is that it is kind of frail, so be warned if it doesn't work out in your favor. But we can see here with skill books that the SP Siphon goes to 25%, which is pretty normal for a lot of other mons. And then Predator increases by 10%. So Predator does 20% more damage, and it also gets a 10% increase. So I'm assuming that's going to be 50% Predator. So overall, a fair boost. This isn't like a mon that I would like go for. I mean, obviously I would Astro Guide it, but I don't really see much of an issue with this mon in terms of it being bad. But to those of you out there that don't have an SP Siphoner at all, this is one to pick up. And to those of you that need a possible light nuker or a mon that can fill in the role of a light nuker, even though they're not really needed because we have dark types, this one could work in your favor. But let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so now we have Wood Pip, who is also an attacker type, coming in with nearly 24, actually, yeah, it is 24k HP, 3k attack. Boys, that's nice. And 2k defense. Glassy, but classy. Glassy, but classy. And then this one comes in with Hunter and Elemental Edge. The Hunter part is phenomenal. Elemental Edge does give it uses in other areas, but how necessary is that, in my opinion? Not so much, and I would prefer, even if you do have Elemental Edge, I would at least prefer that on a dark type, but it's not bad at all, especially if it's a mon that you can capture and you don't have any solid wood attackers. This would be one that I would pick up at least to hold you over until you get something better like a wood incubus. But overall, I don't see much of an issue with this mon right here. Hunter gets a nice boost in damage, and then Elemental Edge also gets a nice boost in damage. So overall, just a big DPS increase to both of those skills, which, I mean, I think this mon's fine. It's nothing like groundbreaking or amazing, but I think it's fine. I do want to compare it, though, to Rudolph, if possible. Where is Rudolph? Alright, I found Rudolph. So it does have better stats than Rudolph. I mean, Rudolph does have morale boost and Predator, but Hunter's pretty good, and then it also has Predator. So think of it essentially as an updated Rudolph. It's not like quite like Incubus level, but it's an upgraded version of Rudolph, because Rudolph gets the job done, especially for newer players, but her attack is acceptable in some cases, and her defense is just gag me with a machete. But yeah, just an upgrade to Rudolph, in my opinion. Late game could fall off. You could have some uses for this in a Nat 3 league if you're creative, but late game you probably won't end up using it anymore, just because that's how it is. That's how it is. I don't see this being a thing in the later golems either. But let's go ahead and move on to the water one. Alright, here we have Water Pip, who's also an attacker type. I swore up and down that Pip was going to be a healer, man. I'm actually surprised. But Water Pip has 26k HP, 2.8k attack, and then 2k defense. Once again, solid stats. I feel like the wood one is slightly better though. And this one comes in with Sleep, 80% chance for 1 turn, and then Predator, 30% chance. Why is this one just naturally weaker than the other one? I don't really understand. I mean, it has a little bit more HP, I believe, but the attack is inferior and the skills are inferior. Let's take a look at the skill books though. So Sleep now goes to 2 turns, and I believe 90%, and then with Predator gets a boost to 40%. You could use his mon, especially because it does have Sleep on it, especially in somewhere like the Nat 3 League. I personally wouldn't find any use outside of that if you're feeling froggy, just because we're oversaturated with water mons. So I actually don't feel bad that this one is probably going to be the weakest out of the bunch, because all that we have left is fire. But this one's definitely for the Astro Guide. If you needed a water attacker, just pick up Mona. Mona comes around 24/7, 365 days a year. This one comes around maybe once or twice a year. So that's my take on it, but let's go ahead and move on. Alright, last but not least is Fire Pip, who's the defender type, coming in with 25k HP, 2k attack, and then 2.7k defense. Nearly 2.8k defense. Stats are solid though, as a Nat 3, honestly, 2.8k defense. Okay, HP is a little but it is a Nat 3. But this one comes in with resistance down, 100% chance for 2 turns, which is great. And then defense down, 60% chance for 2 turns. So this mon right here, obviously we can see, even with a defender typing on it, is mainly just a debuffer, which is great that we have another flavor of Astromon that isn't just water that can apply defense down and resistance down. I meant to say resistance down mainly, but yeah. We have another mon that can apply resistance down, which is great. Obviously pick this one up if you can. It's not a big deal if you can't pick it up, because we have the Water Shaw dungeon. We also have Water Slime, but it's nice that there's another mon that is added to the pool of the resistance down on a 3-star skill that I can think of right off the top of my head. And let's take a look at the skill books real quick. So resistance down just gets a boost in damage, perfectly fine, and then defense down just gets put to 70%, which makes it more acceptable than the 60%. I would prefer 70% in there as well. But in terms of uses, once again, you could run this in a Nat 3 league if you're feeling froggy. Anywhere in PvE as well if you prefer to use Pip versus Water Slime or Water Shaw. Though honestly, if you have time, just farm out Water Shaw, get him to Evo 2 and get him with some decent gems and he should serve you well. But I think with creative use that this one can actually be useful. And shout out to 433 for actually including the skill books. This actually makes things a lot better in terms of grasping if a mon is worth it or not. This is also just a suggestion for future videos, but what I'm thinking about doing is actually going through my mon review videos and trying to basically group them together and do like a quick yes or no review of skill books for those mons. So it's going to be like one video or a couple of videos condensed down, and I'll do maybe like 5 of those, 4 or 5 Ashramon, maybe just 3 Ashramon, and I'll just go through their skill books and say yes or no if you guys are interested in stuff like that. If you're not, I understand. And there's also other things in the works, I just need to get around to it, but I also need to update the Cheyenne bot if you guys don't know. If you guys know what the Cheyenne bot is, feel free to join Discord. I can see if I could put it in your server, just a way, you know, you have access to the information. And yeah, but let me go ahead and wrap up this video, boys. In terms of pips, I think they're all acceptable. Water one, in my opinion, is probably going to be the weakest out the bunch. I'm very interested in the dark one, only for science purposes. Wood is a solid wood attacker, especially for newer players. Light's fine. I mean, light isn't like super amazing, but light's fine. Light's acceptable. Fire is acceptable as well, even though we have other mons that can take the role of that. But yeah, overall, Pip wasn't a letdown. I do feel like Pip can join into the lovely Ashramon box that we have here with the Astro Guide and actually be a usable mon and not just a, you know, get one version of it because the rest is garbage. But feel free to leave an opinion below or a comment below, boys, about what you think about Pip. Which one will you be going for? Do you like Pip's design? Do you hate it? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.